Greetings, Boo Believers. Welcome to Deadsville Daily Booze. I'm your host, Ronin James, veteran stuntman, now director. I've been a second unit director. I edit. Stunt coordinate. I do a bunch of stuff. Now I produce content, direct stuff. I do some comedy, produce a podcast, all this fun stuff under the Deadsville Productions banner with my partner, Steph Infection. And you can support us by liking and following and if you do the stars thing. I wish that we're still trying to figure it out on my reels, but they work on Steph's reels, they work on Maddie's reels apparently, so you can support any of us that way. And we're still keeping this thing rolling. It's been a long week. The holidays are upon us, but I'm committed to keeping this thing going. I have very limited time, but today should be a fun one. Do you like lists? Because, we're going to get into some top 10s. Brittany Fox checking in. Hi, everyone. Hi, Brittany. Thanks for checking in. And I know we'll have a few more people coming along soon. So I will wait before I dig into this bloody, disgusting top 10 horror of 2023 list and give you mine as well. I'm going to kind of just give you mine off the cuff as I look at our Spotify, because I don't have it written out. I didn't have time to actually look at Bloody Disgusting's list yet and compare it to what I would put on my top 10. And I probably haven't seen everything that they have or that you have or any of it. So, we're going to talk everybody's favorite horrors of 2023 today. So definitely join the chat. Chime in with your favorite horror movies that you have seen. Just keep it to 2023, obviously. Which you could also throw in which ones you were disappointed with. We always like discussing the flops. It's always fun to talk flops as well. Like what set you up for high expectations and then let you down. So it's another topic we can tackle today if you like, but definitely we'll focus on your top 10s, or even, you don't even have to do 10. Just give me your favorites of the year. What did you see in the theater or streaming that came out in 2023? And let me know your top couple, whatever, 3, 4, 5, something like that. I'm enjoying my coffee here in this big, I need extra coffee today, in this big Harley Quinn original Jester mask Harley Quinn coffee cup. Extra caffeine in my coffee. Fun fact, I drink, so if you see me drinking coffee, it's 99% of the time, unless it's like from Dunkin' or something, it's instant coffee. I drink instant coffee. I know all you coffee connoisseurs are like, oh my God. But I'll tell you what, man, like, it's just that easy to turbo boost my coffee. If it's just a spoonful of instant, I can go from like 2 spoonfuls is like a normal cup of coffee to throwing in a 3rd spoonful, and I got turbo coffee, right? And I throw in a 4th spoon and I got fucking cocaine coffee and fucking meth, fucking instant jitters. We don't really do that much. 3 is usually about the magic number. But I like my coffee strong, like I like my women. Strong. Ask Steph Infection. She picks me up, throws me around like a rag doll. I love it. She'll tell you. When she gets to the chat, probably embarrassing her right now. It's a shame she's not here. All right. Well, we are going to... Yes, Brittany, that's right. Instant coffee is not as bad as coffee snobs make it out to be. Especially if you get good instant coffee. Like right now I get Nescafe Colombiana? It's Colombian instant coffee. And it's fucking delicious. I fucking love it. So, yes. I'm not a coffee snob. I will drink instant coffee and love it. All right. Oh, I'm a little sore last night too, because last night was a little break from the holiday work, because it's fucking work. It's not cheer, it's holiday work. And me, Steph, and Maddie had a little holiday cheer last night, polishing off a bottle of, of Crystal Skull vodka. Dan Aykroyd of Ghostbusters fame. Dan Aykroyd's Crystal Skull vodka. It was delicious. Excuse me. Now I'm burping up the coffee. Apologies. All right. There's not a whole lot of headlines that we're seeing today. Okay, what do we have? Get ready to celebrate Eli Roth's Thanksgiving in January. Is it coming to streaming? Is that it? Headed for your physical media shelf right after the holidays. I think we already knew that, right? Yeah. Fangoria doesn't have much else that we haven't seen. All new horror movies we can't wait to see in 2024. Yeah, we've seen a bunch of those already. Anything else on here? Monarch. Will the real May please stand up? Uh-oh. Anybody else watching Monarch? Are we Godzilla fans? Are you watching Monarch? Are we kaiju aficionados? I love Monarch. I think it's awesome. I talked a little bit about it yesterday, but yeah, not much news there. There's our main story. I'm going to jump over to Joe Blow. Get this ad out of my face. Close the ad. There we go. What is this? Brute 1976. Marcel Wall's Joe Netter film is an homage to Texas Chainsaw Massacre and The Hills Have Eyes. So this just went up. Director Marcel Walls and screenwriter Joe Netter have teamed up again for Brute 1976, an homage to 1970s horror classics. All right, let's pop in and check it out. What is this? Pretty Boy trailer. Slasher horror. Interesting. All right. Neon Noir. The creative team behind the stalker thriller Blind, its still unreleased sequel Pretty Boy, the slasher That's Rap, and the upcoming horror film Garden of Eden is back at it. Deadline reports that they have just wrapped production on Brute 1976, a horror project described as an homage to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and The Hills Have Eyes. The original 70s version of those films happen to be two of my all-time favorites, so this movie already has my attention, and this story is written by Cody Hammond on JoeBlow.com in the horror section. Let's see. And we're going to check out that trailer, I guess. But directed by Marcel Walls from a screenplay by Joe Netter, Brute 1976 begins with Raquel and her girlfriend, whose car breaks down in the middle of nowhere as they travel to a photo shoot in the desert to celebrate bicentennial unity. They stumble across an abandoned mine and explore it, while the photo shoot group replace her with makeup artist Sunshine and then find abandoned town Savage, which has a violent history but is the perfect place to take some photos. However, a family of mass psychopaths has claimed the town for themselves and are hell-bent on it living up to its name. Walls provided the following statement. I've always been a huge fan of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and The Hills Have Eyes, both the originals and the remakes. Brute 1976 was an amazing experience to shoot. It was hot, it was dirty, and it was bloody. I'm sure the audience will feel that on screen. Netter, who is also co-writing the zombie film Twilight of the Dead, based on a treatment left behind by George A. Romero, added that Brute 1976 is our love letter to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I consider to be the greatest horror film of all time. Shooting in the desert provided many challenges, but our cast and crew really delivered something special. The Neon Noir production company is headed up by Walls, Netter, and blind star Sarah French, who also stars in Brute 1976 alongside Adrian McLean, Gigi Austin, Dazelle Yvette, And Adam Bucci, does Brute 1976 sound interesting? Join the chat and let me know. Looks pretty throwbacky. It definitely looks like it popped straight out of the 70s. I mean, the fucking old... There's our screen cap of it, and they found an old-ass house to shoot that shit in, obviously, or made a nice set. Pretty cool. All right. Well, let's go check out this. I've never even heard of this. Blind? A stalker thriller? Blind? Brittany says, sounds good to me. I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so this is right up my alley. Yeah, agreed. And I like The Hills Have Eyes, too. I thought they were both really good, like, reclusive mutant movies, however you want to, because Texas Chainsaw is very similar. It's like the crazy family that that's like kind of secluded and not quite as mutated as we have in The Hills Have Eyes, but it's still this fucked up, most likely inbred family, right? Is that what we assume? Yeah, Brittany, I agree. It definitely gives 70s vibes from that pick. All right, so this production company, they have Blind, a stalker thriller, and this is the unreleased sequel, Pretty Boy. This is the trailer for Pretty Boy, which says 2021, but it's still unreleased. So let's check out a trailer. Oh, after a Lidl ad.
Spiral sliced ham is 95 cents a pound.
I don't want your ham, Lidl. All right.
I know you all came here for a good time, but there's something you should know. Something about this house.
Ooh, scary.
Laugh if you want, but what people have seen here is no laughing matter. They see a monster, a horror so revolting they say one look can give you nightmares for the rest of your life. It stalks around the house at night. It knows you're here. Looking for what it craves most.
What does it crave?
Fresh blood. But ladies, there is always a bit of truth to all legends.
All right. Well, whoop, little warrior. What we got? Oh, that was it? I thought they were going to hit us with another little scare. It looked okay. Patrick Bradley and TJ checking in. What's up, fellas? Thanks for tuning in today. Excuse me. What'd you think of that trailer? That isn't the Brute 1976 trailer. That's Neon... No, I'm sorry. Pretty Boy. Pretty Boy. It looked bloody, but it looked very low budget. So that's the best they could do in news today at Joe Blow. I mean, the Brute 1976 sounds good. I am into that. I'm definitely into Texas Chainsaw. And yeah, if you guys are just joining us, it's like a Brute 1976. It's like a 70s themed Texas Chainsaw, Hills Have Eyes kind of movie. And here's our screen cap from it. The only thing that they've given us so far. Looks legit though. I mean, like, yeah, definitely, like, I like a period piece, and No cell phones or anything like that. People just dying in the moment, right? Giselle Chong checking in. Hi, Giselle. Thanks for tuning in. All right, we don't have much else in the news today, so we're gonna get over to our list. Kira Stevens checking in. Hi, Kira. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, Brittany, I never heard of Blind or Pretty Boy, and the trailer was definitely interesting. There was a lot of blood, I'll give it that. The killer white tuxedo mask, it was like a baby mask. It was a little weird looking, but I mean, I guess it depends. Hi, Giselle. All right, so we're gonna do this bloody disgusting top 10 best horror movies of 2023. So we will go through those, and you guys can comment yours in the chat, and afterwards I'll go through some of mine, and as we do this, I'll agree or disagree with some of these. So here we go. I probably haven't seen many of these either. I don't watch everything that comes out. But yeah, here we go. Let's see what we got. Close that. Okay, right off the bat, yeah, you can see Godzilla, Scream, I don't know, Saw, and I don't know what that last one is, but I feel like I've seen it. Joe Carana checking in. What's up, Joe? How you doing, brother? Thanks for tuning in. All right, here we go. Bloody Disgusting's top 10 best horror movies of 2023, and this is written by Megan Navarro, our friend Megan Navarro. Here we go. To say it's been a strange, turbulent year might be a bit of an understatement. Historically, 2023 marks the year of the dual strikes by WGA and SAG-AFTRA, the first time in over 60 years that Hollywood writers and actors went on strike at the same time. While both fought for better working conditions and deservedly won, one is debatable. The work stoppage no doubt plays a large role in the theatrical slate both this year and at least into next. Through it all, horror continues to thrive. Box office records were shattered, and indie darlings and international gems continue to surprise audiences. Of course, it's in the most turbulent times where horror thrives most. Audiences turn to horror for catharsis, or release from real-world anxieties and fears. That reflects in 2023's horror offerings, which has given everything from unexpected lo-fi indie hits like Skinamarink and Screambox's Can't Miss the Outwaters, never even heard of it, to large-scaled period epics like The Last Voyage of the Demeter. Slashers continue to surge in popularity as evidenced by the year's best, but possession horror also demonstrates its mean streak through brutal gems like When Evil Lurks. I started to watch When Evil Lurks and I haven't finished it yet. Even gateway horror pulled audiences into crowded theaters, judging by the impressively popular Five Nights at Freddy's. It's questionable. I mean, gateway horror, yeah, but Five Nights at Freddy's is a known IP that has billions of fans and followers, so I don't think it made it in on its gateway horror. I think it made it in on its fucking Five Nights at Freddy's finally had their actual movie come out. But okay, we'll go with it. In other words, horror's diversity continues to contribute to its success while simultaneously making it difficult to narrow down the field to the best of the best. Without further ado, here are the top 10 best horror movies of 2023. And right away, I haven't seen this one. Number 10. Let's see. I'm going to check in with TJ real quick. My top movie this year was There's Something in the Barn. Nice. And Brittany, yes, for sure, agree on There's Something in the Barn. Gotta love the practical gnomes. Yeah, I loved it. I loved it. There's Something in the Barn as well. We'll see if it makes my top 10. I gotta look. I gotta look at everything we've reviewed, which we didn't do. There's Something in the Barn yet, but I did review it non-spoilery here, so we'll see. Anyway, they have suitable flesh. This adaptation of H.P. Lovecraft's The Thing on the Doorstep, written by Dennis Paoli, who also wrote Reanimator, From Beyond, and Dagon. Reanimator is awesome, obviously, and From Beyond, classics. Dagon, another classic. And produced by Brian Usna and Barbara Crampton. I've worked with Barbara Crampton on Death House. Seamlessly inserts itself into the late Stuart Gordon cinematic Lovecraft universe. Director Joe Lynch captures the humorous, oft-sexy tone of Gordon's 80s, 90s Lovecraftian horror output while putting his own stamp on it. There's painstaking attention to detail from the opening frame. It's not just settings or characters that call back to the late Gordon's memorable horror films, but aesthetics, tropes, and everything in between. But for all its ties to late 80s and early 90s horror, it's the way Suitable Flesh flips the script on some outdated tropes that brings Gordon's realm of horror firmly into the present. More importantly, Lynch assembled a talented cast for his raucous, sexy body swap horror movie that impresses. Any horror movie that gives Heather Graham and Barbara Crampton so much scenery to chew in delightful, funny, and violent ways is a win. And yeah, Suitable Flesh is available to rent on Amazon, and I haven't watched it yet, but and I didn't really hear a whole lot about it, but I know it was getting good reviews. And I didn't even realize, Barbara Crampton and Heather Graham. That's awesome, and that it was a H.P. Lovecraft adaptation. So yeah, I'll have to check it out. But obviously I haven't seen it, so it can't make my top 10 list. Comment if you guys have seen it and let me know what you thought of Suitable Flesh. Number 9. Now this one is more in my wheelhouse, horror comedy, and this one might make my top 10 list for sure. The Blackening. And this one was so funny and good, and I really, really enjoyed it. The twist wasn't quite, I mean, I kind of had an idea that it was coming, but the way they got to it, yeah, I really enjoyed it. So, The Blackening, directed by Tim Story and co-written by Tracy Oliver and Dwayne Perkins, The Blackening skewers genre tropes to an infectiously entertaining degree. It follows a group of black friends who reunite for a Juneteenth weekend getaway, only to find themselves trapped in a remote cabin with a twisted killer. The slasher setup and skewering of the tropes lay the foundation for a crowd-pleasing horror comedy. It's not the kills or the horror that makes this so compelling, but the natural chemistry among the cast that instantly endears their characters to the audience. Yeah, agreed. There's nothing really groundbreaking here, but it's the satire, the cast is just so good. It was so fun to watch. But I also felt like the horror definitely worked. To me, it had that Saw vibe to it without the kind of like torture porn aspect of it. It was like the confined group of people, and they've got to kind of like pick one to oust, or they keep getting they have to play the game, so that's where it kind of it was like almost combining a slasher, working a slasher into like a Saw setup. So yeah, and it really worked for me. I really enjoyed it. Steph Infection is just joining and says The Blackening was such a great movie, so friggin' funny. Yes, totally agree. And we did review The Blackening on, I think we did. Yeah, we reviewed The Blackening on Deadsville Horror Talk. So, yeah, it definitely has a shot at making my top 10. This cast makes the group dynamics feel authentic and with built-in history, and the humor soars as a result. Yeah, it felt like it was totally organic group of friends and felt similar to my friend groups and friend groups that I've had over the years. Yeah, it was really, really well done with the cast and the chemistry and the satire, the writing. The Blackening made for one of the best theatrical experiences of the year, too, if you were lucky to see it with a rowdy crowd. Now, that I didn't. That I didn't see. I did watch it at home, but yeah, it probably would have been fun. Number 8 I did see in the theaters, though, twice, because it was that fucking good. And, yeah, man, number 8 on this list? Really? I thought it was... Well, it's definitely going to make my list, and it'll most likely be higher than 8. So, Eli Roth's Thanksgiving. After 16 years, Eli Roth finally expands his faux grindhouse trailer into a feature form. Instead of building his quintessential slasher around the grainy grindhouse aesthetic, however, he brings the classic style slasher into the modern world. That simplicity is refreshing in a current landscape of high-concept slashers that constantly seek to stay ahead of savvy horror audiences. Roth, along with his co-writer Jeff Randell, instead seek to make a meal of the revenge slasher format with a holiday twist through humor and memorable kills. Very memorable kills. Each death brings pain and bloodletting in delightfully mean-spirited, suspenseful ways. Yes. The gore effects heighten the creativity of the kills and the gleefulness of John Carver committing them. It results in a holiday horror effort that captures the lean, mean, and gory spirit of early outs horror, but set in the present. It's a solid, entertaining reminder that sometimes simplicity is best. Yeah, it was so good, I don't understand how it's only fucking number 8. I'm curious to see what else is ahead of this. TJ says Thanksgiving was fucking great. Yep. Yes, it was. I don't know how it's only number 8. John Mahoney checking in. What's up, John? Thanks for tuning in. All right, number 7, Birth Rebirth. Okay, well, I think I started to watch this and just kind of fell asleep. Is this the one on Shudder? Okay, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein inspired a streak of genre releases this year, but Birth Rebirth packs the biggest emotional wallop of them all. Marin Ireland and Judy Reyes deliver captivating performances in this dramatic tale this tale by director Laura Moss about reanimating the dead. Moss's feature leans more into drama, but the foreboding, dread, and compelling central performances ensure this bleak doozy maximizes its emotional impact. It's the push and pull between the two leads that captivates, embodiments of science versus heart at odds over the the ethics of reviving the dead. It's far more complex than its simple setup suggests, made all the more thornier and engaging by its powerhouse leads. Okay, this one just sounds like a fucking snooze fest. And me and Megan Navarro are going to part ways on this one. I can kind of see where she's going. She likes that she leans more into the psychological stuff. This is best horror movies, and yeah, she even says this leans more into drama with a horror backdrop. Wouldn't make my list. I'm pretty sure that's why this didn't catch me when I tried to watch it. All right, number 6 is an awesome one as far as I'm concerned. And Steph and I reviewed this one on Deadsville Horror Talk. We got to go see it early. Dimitro Sereda. I hope I said that right, brother. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for joining us. We are going through Bloody Disgusting's top 10 best horror movies of 2023. We are at number 6, which is A24's Talk to Me. And I fucking love this one. Steph loved this one. Most of the people I know love this one if they saw it. Awesome supernatural possession horror. There's a great screen cap of our lead actress in the throes of possession, and yeah, Talk to Me was fucking awesome. It's definitely going to make my list. We'll see how high up it ranks. 6 feels a little low to me right now. I got to go look at everything that we reviewed on Deadsville Horror Talk this year, but 6 feels a little bit low. All right. Talk to Me delivered one hell of a feature debut by twin filmmaking duo Danny and Michael Philippou, the creative minds behind YouTube channel Raka Raka. The title refers to the latest viral party craze, which sees teens gather around a volunteer who grabs a mysterious embalmed hand while uttering the phrase, "Talk to me." But the energy and visceral violence quickly sets Talk to Me apart from standard teen horror. The filmmakers demonstrate a knack for stretching out the suspense as long as possible, only to release it through unexpected scares, gross-out gags, or visceral, wince-inducing violence. And yep, definitely some wince-inducing violence. It's not just the brutality that surprises, but the filmmaker's audacious visual interpretation of ghosts and the ghostly realm. The filmmakers create an exhilarating, chilling dichotomy between irreverent youth and the ghastly, surreal dead. The tonal shift from high-energy horror into brooding melancholy may ultimately polarize, but it's that bold confidence and daring outcome that makes it such a high mark for 2023. And for me, it was also that fucking ending, man. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody that hasn't seen it. If you haven't seen it, why the fuck not? Yeah, that ending for me was fucking awesome. I fucking loved it. It was such a good movie. And Giselle Chung joins and says, yes, Talk to Me was my favorite. I was hoping it'll be high on the list. John Mahoney also says, Talk to Me should have been higher than 6. And I agree, man. For me, it's definitely higher than 6. Talk to Me is in my top 5 for sure. I'm almost positive it's in my top 5. So, all right, we're going to keep moving. And I'm going to disagree with this one. I didn't see this one. Number 5 is Saw X. And I guess you have to enjoy the Saw movies for it to pop up that higher in your lists, which we already know I do not. I know some of you do. So yeah, I mean, if you're a Saw fan, was this one that high on your list? Was it that good as a Saw movie? I'm gonna read this real quick, but yeah, I was out after like Saw 2. I think I'm not into like the torture stuff, so not really my bag, baby. The franchise that began in 2004 hit a major milestone this year with its 10th installment, and what an unexpected rush. Director-editor Kevin Greutert, working from Pete Goldfinger and Josh Stolberg's screenplay, wields his enduring franchise experience like a lethal jigsaw trap, ensnaring fans in a thrilling, triumphant sequel. Greutert, Goldfinger, and Stolberg approach this 10th entry with a reverence for the franchise's history while making it accessible for newcomers. Setting it so early in the timeline allows for fan favorites to return, with Tobin Bell and Shawnee Smith picking up as if they've never left. There's a comfortable sense of awareness and humor found in a sequel that utilizes its pared-back simplicity to showcase the characters and gore, strong emphasis on both. It's not just the gruesome and inventive new traps that make Saw X so winsome, but the return of Kramer and Amanda, along with one of the most vile new villains to come along in a long while. So, yeah. I didn't watch it, so I can't really comment on this one. If you saw X and whatever your thoughts were, liked it, didn't like it, thought it was the revitalization of the franchise, chime in. I will read your comment. Tim Day checking in. What's up, brother? Thanks for joining. And we're doing the top 10 horror movies of 2023 according to Bloody Disgusting's Megan Navarro. So, yeah, Saw X was her number 5. So we just cracked into her top 5. Oh, no, I didn't see this now. I see the pictures. Infinity Pool is their, at least her, number 4 horror movie of 2023. And yeah, this is where we part ways, because like I didn't even watch this again because I just heard it's like Midsommar. It's just long and boring, and you know, if you're into that slow cerebral horror, then that's awesome. But yeah, it's not for me. I'm a fucking stunt coordinator, man. I like action. I can take only so much slow burn, or it's really got to burn, so to keep my interest. So yeah, her number 4 is Infinity Pool. Writer-director Brandon Cronenberg once again delivers mind-bending, warped horror in the resort set Infinity Pool. Straight away, Cronenberg instills an off-kilter, satirical vibe with his fictional setting, and that unravels into deranged madness that the fearless, committed performances by Alexander Skarsgård thanks to the fearless, committed performances by Alexander Skarsgård and Mia Goth. Together, the pair take their characters to places that never fail to leave your jaw on the floor again and again. More than just a horror-tinged repeating cycle of violence and debauchery, Infinity Pool is funny. There's a gleeful sense of humor on display that makes this insane voyage more accessible and complex. It's unpredictable, compelling, audacious, and extremely violent in the best way. If you say so. Yeah, I don't know. I will never make it through this movie, I guarantee it. Moving on. This one I did see, and this one was pretty enjoyable. It's her number 3, No One Will Save You, and Steph and I reviewed this one on Deadsville Horror Talk as well, and we both really enjoyed it, but it had its issues. I mean, I had a whole rant on it, because this, I ranted on this one just like I ranted on some of the old alien invasion movies. They all seem to have the same kind of issue if we want to get technical or really think about it. If you think too much about the whole situation, I'll hit you with the rant real quick before I jump into No One Will Save You, because she's got it really high on the list, and I fucking really enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. I really enjoyed No One Will Save You. It's a movie with, I think there's 3 words in the whole movie. The whole movie, there's no dialogue, and it's really a bold, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a very it'll come to me. I'm terrible with words anymore. I used to be really good with this, but old age and fucks your memory up. But yeah, it's a very bold idea to make a movie with no dialogue, and for your lead actress to carry it just through facial expressions and her eyes and her body language, and also do this with CGI aliens, and there was so much that could have gone wrong with this movie because the way, the setup and everything, but it really was good. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. I don't know if it's number 3. It might crack my top 5, but let's dig in. Number 3 here for Bloody Disgusting. Writer-director... Oh, let me bring you guys back on to our screen here with Bloody Disgusting. And there's our lead actress hiding during the invasion. Writer-director Brian Duffield has an uncanny ability to deliver thrilling genre features with an affecting emotional center that often leave your heart on the floor. For his latest, an alienated woman, Bryn, finds herself contending with highly intelligent, hostile aliens from another planet. What transpires is a breathless journey through self-forgiveness that gets transformed into a propulsive, nerve-fraying sci-fi twist on home invasion horror. And yes, it's absolutely all of that. It fucking nails it. There's not an ounce of fat in this nearly 90-minute genre actioner. Duffield spends roughly 8 minutes introducing Bryn and her place within this world before plummeting into a series of escalating chases, encounters, and terrifying reveals about the invaders. The sound design is impeccable, heightening the intensity to a nerve-fraying degree. Perhaps most impressive is that Bryn's transformative arc gets relayed almost entirely without dialogue or tidy conclusions. Bryn is a complex character, and so too is her fate. Yes, the end of this was very thought-provoking, and I enjoyed it. It doesn't tie it all up in a bow. You're kind of like, after everything happens, if you didn't see it, I don't want to spoil it for you, but hey, Justin, jumping in. Says, sorry he's late, no worries. Appreciate you joining, brother. We are on the top 10 here, and we are at number 3 with the alien invasion, home invasion horror, No One Will Save You. And Yeah, it's a great movie. It does so much well. You forgive my one qualm with it, which I'll get to in a minute, but the ending was great because they don't just spell it all out for you. Like I like that the director was just like, boom, here's how it's ending, and you kind of like, because you go from one scene to just the next scene, and it's just like, oh, that's how it's ending, okay, and it just kind of leaves it at that, and there's so many possibilities. It just kind of leaves it up to you to figure out, which I thought was cool, especially after everything else with no dialogue. Nothing gets spelled out for you. You have to figure everything out in this movie just from what's going on and her body language and flashbacks and just it was just very well done. Yeah, No One Will Save You. If you haven't watched it, it's on Hulu, I believe, is where we watched it. You can stream it on Hulu, and very good. Here's my one qualm. I'm going to do my rant. I know I said I was going to do it before, and then I just read this. Here's my rant on this one and why it might crack my top 5 instead of absolutely make. Here's what might keep it from. Just like so many others before it, and I'm going to call out another movie that I enjoyed, but I found very problematic in its execution, was Signs. With Mel Gibson, yes, the old M. Night Shyamalan movie. Here it is. Aliens come to invade Earth, and they have spaceships, they have space travel, they have teleportation, they have telepathy, they have all this fucking advanced shit, right? They have all this advanced shit. How are they walking around naked? Why are they fucking walking around naked? No weapons, no fucking armor, no nothing. No, just naked aliens walking around. And in Signs, I'm not spoiling Signs, it's a fucking 20-plus-year-old movie, so if you haven't seen it, and I spoil it for you, too bad, but they trap an alien in the cupboard. In the fucking cupboard. And when they finally, like, because again, it's one of these, just like this movie, it's this big scale alien invasion movie, and I'm sorry, it's a small scale. There's a huge alien invasion going on, or so you're led to believe, but all we're seeing is the small scale portion of it from one family's point of view. Very similar to this. You get this home invasion of the one reclusive girl who lives on her own for reasons that you learn throughout the course of the movie. And it's really good. But again, I get the aliens have telepathy, but there's no ray guns. And you're invading. You have to know. Like, what if, like in both of these movies, the aliens are just lucky that they didn't show up in some like doomsday preppers, fully armored, you know, in case of emergency, fucking fallout shelter house. You know, how do you know you're not going to show up and the dude's going to have an arsenal waiting for you? Aliens, if they're coming to invade the planet and they're that far advanced, they know that people have guns. And I get they have telepathy and all that, but you would still wear some fucking armor. So there are issues in this movie with the aliens just walking around naked that allow things to happen in the story that I just feel like they wouldn't walk around naked. You get what I'm saying? Just like Ben Speck, thanks for joining in. I know you probably feel me on this one. Just like if these aliens traveled so far to take over the world in Signs, or to abduct people, or to steal our water. No, they weren't stealing our water. They were allergic to the water. That's what killed them. That's right. Whatever they were doing in Signs, they wouldn't travel all this way and not have the means to blast their way out of a fucking wooden doored cupboard, kitchen cupboard. You know, like, what the fuck? It's like a pantry, man. Like, you're trapping an alien in a pantry during this big ass invasion. It's the same thing like with this. That was like my one big qualm, because she gets to run around and do a bunch of stuff because stuff happened. I don't want to ruin the movie. It's still a good movie. Trust me, I really enjoyed it. And it did so much well that I let this slide. But this is my one beef with Hey, Azriel checking in. What's up, brother? And TJ says Killer Clowns from Outer Space and Mars Attack is the only alien movies in my book. And yes, exactly. Motherfucking... Dude, they had ray guns, they had fucking armor, they had spacesuits, they were fucking... they had tanks and stuff in Mars Attacks. I just don't get these alien invasion movies with these naked grays that just walk around and think they're gonna, like, just... they're not prepared for like the normal humans. You're in America. We have guns and shit, man. We have guns and armies and weapons. Even, you know, like, it just makes no sense to me sometimes. All right, end rant. Back to our list, and this bitch has... Ooh, shit. I shouldn't say that, right? Shit. I wish I had a bleep button. I didn't mean it as woman. If it could have been a man that wrote this as well. Oh well. This motherfucker got Scream 6 as her number 2. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Who is this again? Oh my God. Megan Navarro. Are you fucking kidding me? Scream 6 is your number 2. There were so many fucking plot holes in Scream 6. Holy shit, man. Did we watch the same movie? I just... like... Oh my God. The amount of non-death in Scream 6 alone is reason for this not to make the list. There were 0 consequences. Dude gets stabbed, double team stabbed on both sides, and is rolled out in a gurney and gets to kiss her as he's leaving because he don't die. His twin sister stabbed in the gut on the fucking subway. So comes running up at the end of the movie. This is the dumbest shit I have ever... I can't believe I have to fucking rant again. I just came off one rant where I actually liked the movie to this rant. Did anybody else... I have not seen many people talk about this fucking aspect of Scream 6. Holy shit, this was fucking killing me. My coffee's getting cold because I've been ranting on these fucking movies. At the end of the movie, did anybody else not realize that Jenna Ortega's character, when she was hanging and takes it, oh, trust me, sis, trust me, finally trust me, it's the trust moment, let me go. When she lets her go and she drops down onto the fucking killer, he fucking stabs her in the gut. He stabs her in the gut. He even says, I got you though, haha, and she stabs him. We see the fucking knife go into her fucking gut. So at the end of the movie, when everybody's alive and everybody's running up and they're all being taped up and it's a feel-good ending that these fucking ass clown directors wanted, it's just completely ignored. Her and her sister are sitting there having the sisterly bonding moment. Everybody else is getting wheeled off and getting medical attention. No medical attention is given to Jenna Ortega, even though she had a knife shoved into her fucking abdomen. She gets up, and her and her sister walk off into the sunset, dropping the mask behind. I don't even remember if they were holding hands, but the two of them walk off into the sunset. Because this is the kind of bullshit these bullshit-ass directors wanted to do and have a feel-good ending and just ignore stab wounds. I mean, don't fucking stab people if you're not going to fucking kill them. You know, like, back in the day, a gut stab meant you were done. You were done. You're going to bleed the fuck out. And in this motherfucker, holy shit, like... they just forget about it. They just forget that she got stabbed in the gut. It drove me insane. So insane, I did a 1-minute review on the fucking things I hated, like 5 things that I hated about Scream 6. I can't believe that this turd, with no fucking consequences, with everybody getting up and living, beat out Thanksgiving? Are you fucking kidding me? Megan Navarro, you have lost all credibility in my eyes. Holy shit. Azriel, TJ, thank you for the stars, dude. I appreciate it, man. Thanks very much. I guess my rants are entertaining. TJ says, maybe this list is backwards, right? Ah, no, but the number one she got right, I feel like, at least. Azrael said, I like Scream 6, but I missed the rest of the list. But then he also says, though, I agree, too many for survivors. And she's, shit, maybe I'm due for a rewatch. LOL. I don't know, I was just glad it was better than Scream 5. Yeah, like, I was glad too. Scream 5 pissed me off to no end with the high school girl killing Dewey. Bullshit, but, you know, whatever. That's what they wanted to do. Dewey probably, if he wanted out, fine, but whatever. I did enjoy parts of Scream 6, but there was just so much that I was like, this makes no sense. The whole bodega scene where, like it was fun and it was enjoyable and it was brutal and all that, and I dug that he just ran in and went about killing, but that was another problem for me because every fucking, and this is another one that's another, just like the alien invasion thing, this is every movie problem. When somebody's killing people, stabbing, doing whatever, and you're the guy who has the gun, you're that guy that has the gun and can save the day, here's my advice to you. Don't warn the fucking killer that you're going to shoot him. Just fucking shoot him, man. Just shoot him. These motherfuckers pull out a gun and they have the drop on him and then they go, hey! And give him a chance to fucking react. Just fucking shoot him. It's another fucking Hollywood movie trope that drives me nuts. This motherfucker in the bodega pulled the shotgun, had him dead to rights, and could have avoided dying himself and just ended the whole movie if he would have just pulled that trigger instead of yelling, hey, and warning Ghostface to spin around and go, oh, and dodge bullets. Because that's what fucking happened. Drives me up a fucking wall, man. Do better, writers. Do fucking better. Holy shit. Oh my God. All right. I'm sorry. I'm going off. Azrael says, LOL, we can have a whole long conversation about all the reasons I hate Scream 5. Oh yeah, man. I'm sure. I guarantee you. But yeah, I just find it ridiculous Scream 6 is on this list. Let's read her reasons. Director Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillette, working from a script by James Vanderbilt and Guy Busick, build upon last year's Scream most satisfyingly, perfecting the requel formula with a most intense sequel. Scream 6 operates in conversation with Scream 2, thematically and beyond, shifting the slasher fun to the big city. Yeah, Ghostface takes Manhattan. We've seen this movie before. The filmmakers up the ante, delivering inventive, edge-of-your-seat set pieces that showcase the urban setting and how savage Ghostface is this round. Yeah, except they down the ante by giving 0 stakes in the fucking movie because nobody fucking dies. None of the main cast dies. Holy shit, I keep thinking of others. Oh, I'm going to rant again. Fuck. Scream 6 demonstrates keen understanding of what makes a slasher so thrilling. Highly suspenseful cat and mouse chases and fully realized characters with rooting interest. This sequel nails both. The breathless set pieces leave you on the edge of your seat, and the core 4 make a triumphant transition from new class to seasoned survivors in infectious ways, led by fierce Melissa Barrera, who knows where this franchise goes from here, but Scream 6 set the bar dauntingly high. I don't think we watched the same movie. Holy shit. I don't think Harold Gant, thanks for checking in, brother. Azrael, they should have killed one or both of the twins. They should have killed somebody. I can't believe that the one male twin was still alive at the end. They stabbed that motherfucker 19 times on both. 2 knives on either fucking side of him. Just stabbed the shit out of him. And at the end of the movie, we get him rolling out on the gurney. I mean, okay, here's my other one. I'm gonna rant on this one too. Because this was another one of my rants that I did for Scream 6. And I just can't believe this is I should have known though. These people are such shills for the fucking industry. They're such, Paul Massey watching. Thanks for checking in, Paul. Appreciate it. TJ, Scream franchise is going to shit. Yeah, it is. John Mahoney, what has she been smoking with that review? Exactly. That's why oh my God, I don't understand. Justin Clark checking in. What's up, brother? My stunt brother. Loved your hand motions on stabbing with... Yeah, I know. Steph loves that one too, especially if I take them higher. She likes to make fucking memes of it. But here's my other qualm, and this is another one that happens in a bunch of movies too, but they just overdid it a bunch in this one. In the Gail Weathers scene where Ghostface is chasing Gail all over her apartment, you remember Gail kabongs Ghostface with a cast iron skillet. A cast iron skillet. Now, have you ever picked up a cast iron skillet? It's heavy. It's fucking solid. I mean, even if you just tap yourself on the head with a cast iron skillet, you're going to feel it. So the fact that Gail kabongs him full force, two hands, like Billie Jean King, backhand, bang, across his face. Ghostface goes down and gets right the fuck back up and chases her like nothing even happened. That motherfucker would have been so concussed. He would have been down and unconscious from a cast iron skillet, first of all. But then he would have been so concussed and dizzy, there's no getting up and chasing. He goes on to fight her more, chase her around, get hit with more heavy objects. She hits him with a book, I think a big-ass book after that. She hits him 3 times in that one little sequence in the head that there is no fucking way he would be conscious. But Hollywood doesn't give a shit. They love to do this shit. They just kabong the shit out of villains with no fucking and no consequences. He just jumps right back up. And it's not like I get it when you do it to Michael Myers or you do it to Jason because they're supernatural slashers. That's their whole fucking shtick. You can't fucking kill them. They're so evil. They just keep getting up and coming for you. That's not what Ghostface is. So I'm sorry. Ghostface can't take a cast iron fucking pan to the head and jump right the fuck back up and continue the chase. It's just not physically possible. I'm sorry. Okay? So, Megan Navarro, I don't know what you're smoking. Like John Mahoney says, but there's no fucking way. And there's our number one, as we all know. Before I get to it, obviously we all knew Godzilla -1 was number one. It's my number one. Yes. But before I get to it, let me read through. TJ says, I'm out. Cell's about dead. No charge on me. Take care, everyone. Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas, TJ. Thank you once again for tuning in, brother. Thank you for the stars. And I'll see you on Saturday. Shout out, TJ is going to take our Miss Kitty and he's going to bring her to her new home. Our little Ronin's Rescue caravan. Our network of rescue cats. Yeah, TJ's helping us out. He found her a home. And Miss Kitten will be in her new home for Christmas. Thank you very much for that, TJ. All right. Azrael. Wait, but what about when Ghostface faked the girl's death? Excuse me, the dude was literally watching through his window and didn't see them throwing all the fake blood and shit on her. Yes. And then how'd they get her body out? Yeah, no, absolutely. The death scene was also problematic. That whole scene with her being in there and faking that whole, yes, it's all so problematic. There's so many plot holes. So many plot holes, but we just ignore them. I feel like just because it's Scream, people ignore these plot holes. It's like the Dark Knight trilogy, which boggles my mind because people just they don't understand physics either and just let shit go. Like Batman flying the nuke out to sea, like 5 miles out to sea and dropping it and that saving Gotham. That would not save Gotham. It would fucking irradiate everything. But people don't care about that. They just care that Batman saves the day. So whatever. It's the same fucking thing, man. It's the same thing. Justin Seelig checking in. No one dies anymore, even in Star Wars. A lightsaber doesn't kill either. It's ridiculous. Yeah, nobody wants to kill off characters because they don't know who's going to be popular, and there's no stakes. There's no stakes anymore. Azrael, don't get me started on the Dark Knight trilogy. Yeah, that's what it felt like. Like nobody cares about like these. It's just like, really? Like, did we not just watch these other movies and this other stuff? Like, this is so. And what's crazy is they will write one thing in a movie and then totally contradict themselves. And The Dark Knight is super guilty of it. Like, in the first movie, they set Batman up. He trained with these ninjas and the fucking Ra's al Ghul and the fucking Secret Society and all that. The fucking I'm drawing a blank on the name. But he trains with like the best martial arts fighters in the world. And then 2 movies later, he fights Bane and doesn't use any martial arts whatsoever. He just tries to duke it out with a guy who is physically bigger than him. It just makes no sense. And he's the greatest detective on earth. That's a smart thing to do. That makes total sense. But it's that kind of contradictory writing inside the same fucking movie or inside the same franchise where it's problematic. And people, I feel like some people just forgive shit because, oh, it's Scream. Oh, it's Batman. They just let it go. They just ignore it because they want to like it. They just love Batman. So they don't fucking... You can't drop a nuke in the bay. Okay? Everybody would get radiation poisoning. I don't care. You can't do it. You got to take it way the fuck out to the ocean, and even then, you'd probably still have problems. You'd have Godzilla. All right, let's get to Godzilla. This one's my number 1 as well. I got to go through mine. All right. Azrael says on the Batman thing, I'm glad we have the Reeves verse now. The Batman was a masterpiece. I don't know about masterpiece, but it was better. It was better. All the explosions and all that stuff I will question too. He follows a lead. He's the greatest detective. He blows up half the city chasing the Penguin, and the lead didn't even pan out. It was a bad lead. But all right, they had to have a car chase in there somewhere and show off the Batmobile. I get it. Toho's latest entry in their enduring Godzilla franchise has cut through the noise of a crowded film cycle, moved beyond its devout fan base, and through director-writer Takashi Yamazaki, found a way to resonate with mainstream audiences. Every bit of the attention is deserved. Godzilla -1 marries a World War II drama with an old-fashioned creature feature. The former deals with complex themes of honor and war as the film's human characters struggle to pick up the pieces of their war-torn city. The latter delivers unparalleled kaiju horror and spectacle. There's no shortage of suspenseful chases or confrontations with a vast, seemingly indestructible threat. Moreover, Godzilla -1 does what bombastic action horror movies of this ilk often don't. It drives home the devastating reality that Godzilla's rampaging reeks upon civilization. Here, the destruction is devastating to a palpable degree. Even at sea, far from land, Godzilla is a looming presence to be feared as Takashi Yamazaki borrows a page or 3 from Steven Spielberg's Jaws. It's a rare feature to effortlessly toe the line between crowd pleaser and award contender in the most thrilling, cinematic way possible. Well, Megan Navarro, at least you got that one right. At least you got that one right. Azrael says, this was the first time I saw a kaiju movie in theaters and didn't fall asleep. Hope there's a sequel. Yes, and we've talked about this. I've talked about it before. The human element in kaiju movies is traditionally not what any of us are there for. And it's usually boring as hell because it also, coming from Japan, also usually has... especially their older movies, will have customs and traditions and societal norms that we as Americans have zero reference point for. So we have no idea. So we don't, a lot of the stuff doesn't always translate as well. So it's very easy for the human element to fall on deaf ears, so to say, when you're an American watching one of these movies. But the way they put this one together, and we've talked about this, and you'll hear it on Deadsville Horror Talk, which I will edit and get out there as soon as possible with the -1 review. But they do such a great job of characterization and really fleshing out the human drama and making it very engaging. And you really care for all the characters. Like, there's really, like, they do introduce, there's the main characters, and then they introduce some, some peripheral characters, but they all get fleshed out really well, and they don't even have to spend a whole lot of time on them. You get to know these guys just through some really they're not deep interactions, like brief interactions, and you get a good sense of who all these characters are and where their story arc is taking them. And by the end of the movie, man, it's just you kind of see what's happening. Everybody knows Godzilla's. They know the story, the origin story behind Godzilla. This isn't new. This isn't we all see what's coming. We all know what's coming. But it's just done so well. The execution is just damn near perfect. Godzilla -1 is my number one movie of the year as well. The kaiju stuff, the Godzilla stuff, the destruction is done so well as well. That just puts you right down in. That's what we talked about in the live stream. I'm sorry, on Deadsville Horror Talk as well. They do such a good job of. It's different than some of the old ones where you have this big wide view and all the masses running down the street, and then they have the superimposed Godzilla in the background breaking stuff, and it's just a very wide kind of stationary shot because they had to do all the effects back then, and they had to do. It was very. Antiquated the way they did all those effects, so everything had to be locked down. Nowadays, with digital filmmaking and how good some CGI is, and the CGI in this is really, really good. They're able to, and this is a great example of it in -1. Like, you're able to get right down in the chaos. Like the destruction's going on, and people are running, and train cars are flying and smashing, and building tops are coming off. But instead of seeing it from the big wide view that we're used to seeing it in, we're down in the street with our hero or our protagonists, or with just the people, and you're seeing people get crushed, and you're seeing the destruction from like a human point of view, and it just does such a great job of putting you in all of that destruction. It's one of the reasons to go see it in the theater, so you can really feel that large scale feeling, to feel like you're really immersed in it. That was one of the things that really impressed me. Also about Godzilla was the way the cinematography and the CGI got you right down there in the destruction as people are everywhere, and it was far cry from our usual 50s, 60s, 70s, hundreds of extras just running down the street as in a big wide shot while Godzilla's superimposed in the background breaking stuff. It's a far cry from that, and it was so good. So definitely see it in the theater. Andy Social checking in. What's up, brother? So glad Godzilla is a household word currently in the USA. Same, man. For those of us that grew up on it, it's just so gratifying, so rewarding, so heartwarming. If you loved Godzilla, and you're validated at this point, because it's the biggest movie in the world, and it's just destroying Hollywood. It's destroying the box office. It's so fucking good. Bennick Leister. I hope I said that. Leister. Thanks for checking in. Bennick. And Azriel asks, did you see The Creator? I don't know if you talked about it already. No, I have not seen The Creator yet. I will. So, Chris Stewart checking in. What's up, Chris? Thanks for checking in. From Florida, right? Chris, you're down there in Florida. All right, so there was Bloody Disgusting's top 10, and I didn't see some of these. We'll just do a quick recap on them so you guys can see what Bloody Disgusting listed. This is Megan Navarro, who writes for Bloody Disgusting. Number 10 was Suitable Flesh, which I haven't seen. H.P. Lovecraft adaptation. Stars Heather Graham and Barbara Crampton. Getting good reviews. Sounds interesting. Number 9 was The Blackening. I also love The Blackening. Awesome satire and horror. Thanksgiving, I felt was a little low on her list. She has it at 8. I don't know how the fuck you put Scream 6 ahead of Thanksgiving. You're fucking insane, but she's got Thanksgiving, Eli Roth's holiday slasher at number 8. Number 7, Birth, Rebirth, a movie that put me to sleep. I don't do the slow burn stuff or the mostly drama horror. If it's a mostly drama, to me it's drama, and that's not why I'm watching a horror movie. I'm not watching a horror movie to watch drama. Godzilla, that was good drama. That's human drama caused by the horror, and you know, there was enough horror in there to keep me, the destruction of the monsters and the monster destruction and all kept me engaged. So number 6 was Talk to Me. I also love Talk to Me. We love Talk to Me at Deadsville Horror, Talk Me and Steph. Awesome A24 supernatural possession horror. Good spin on it. Lots of scares. Number 5 was Saw X. I'm not a fan of the Saw franchise, as many of you know, but everybody raves about this one. Don't you dare. Number 4 was Infinity Pool, another cerebral horror that I usually pass on. I haven't watched it. Number 3 for her was No One Will Save You. I feel like that's a little high, but I really did love No One Will Save You. This was a really good alien invasion movie, and it's entirely without dialogue. There is like 3 words in the entire movie. The whole thing, and they come towards the end. The entire movie, no dialogue. Everything is told through body language, flashbacks, facial expressions, and it's fucking great. They do a really solid job with it. So I loved it. I don't know if I would put it at number 3, but pretty good. Number 2, This Woman is Smoking Crack. Scream 6 is not the second best movie of the fucking year. There was everybody living. There was no fucking stakes at all. The ridiculousness of Jenna Ortega walking away at the end of the movie after they just forget about her being stabbed in the gut by Ghostface in the final fight. Nobody dying. The fucking dude being stabbed 6 times. And I know everybody loves when I do the hand motions for the stabs. So there you go. That's bullshit. Get out of here. Scream 6 was a fucking terrible movie with no stakes. Godzilla -1, number 1, I agree. It's kind of hard to pick anything else besides Godzilla -1, so that's like a no-brainer. So, all right. Let's jump to, I need to go to my our YouTube here, and I will go through. So I'm going to tell you, just going to bring this up. This is our Facebook page here. And I'm going to go back to the beginning of the year and look at everything that we've watched. Let's see, and I'll check in with you guys real quick. I think the creator, Azrael, I think the creator or Godzilla will be my number 1 for this year. Andy says, yes, such a Godzilla loner my whole life. American can get a cue from Japan with this film. Agreed. I say it all the time. As I read this, I'll bring this back up. I say it all the time. American needs to take some notes instead of just remaking, because this is what they do. Oh, we're going to remake The Rage, and we're going to put the Hemsworth brothers in it, and then you're going to ruin it because you're going to fucking gentrify the script with your Hollywood bullshit. Azrael says, I'm so mad I missed Thanksgiving waiting for it to stream. I think it's out now on VOD. You go to pay-per-view, pay VOD. I think you can rent. I think it's on Amazon. I think it's like $20 though. So, hi Ghost, are you coming to join me? Oh, you're knocking all my shit over, Ghost. Get down. Wreaking havoc. That's what happens when I let you stay in here, huh? And he says, keep up the great work with these awesome live streams. Thanks, brother. You too. I know the interwebs are full of people live streaming, talking horror and stuff like that. But yeah, I appreciate you guys all tuning in. I love all my boo believers. So yeah, I appreciate you coming back Monday through Friday. Azrael says, I remember seeing Talk to Me. I remember liking Talk to Me, but I don't remember anything about the movie except the hand. It's streaming now places, so check it out again. It's definitely worth a rewatch. It was a good take on like kids getting like making it like a party thing where they all like get high off of it, almost, of being possessed and being like and all watching each other do it. So that was a good aspect of it as well, and the one person takes it too far, and yeah, very good. Andy says that's awesome, want to see that Alien film. Yes, very good. What was that from the Hulu? No One Will Save You. And yeah, that one was definitely worth checking out. Very cool ending. So, all right, let's see where our 2023 movies begin. And I'm looking at, well, we started with the Scream 6 review. That is not going to make my top 10. Neither will The Pope's Exorcist. I did a whole slicing up Scream thing. The Boogeyman was pretty good. I didn't hate The Boogeyman. That was a pretty good one. Sorry, I'll bring you guys up here so you can see all the shows that we have reviewed. All the movies we have reviewed so far on Deadsville Horror Talk episode. The Pope's Exorcist, nope, negative. Renfield I really liked, man. I know a lot of people were down on Renfield, but I really liked Renfield. It might actually crack my top 10. Excuse me. I thought Nicolas Cage was fun as Dracula. I could have used a little more of him. But the movie's called Renfield, and I thought Nicholas Hoult was really good. I liked the setup. I liked the execution. There was a decent amount of gore in it. Renfield might make my top 10. Let's see. She Came from the Woods was a streaming one. Not bad. Evil Dead Rise. I really liked Evil Dead Rise, too. I could have done without the Thing ending, the creature being the Thing at the end, but Evil Dead Rise is probably in my top 10. Children of the Corn 2023 was terrible. Insidious the Red Door, I think that was like a letdown. Talk to Me is in my top 5 for sure. Oh, Cobweb was a fun one. That was really creepy. I really liked Cobweb. I thought that was really well done. Huh. That could be a sleeper in my top 10. Disney's Haunted Mansion. I like that way more than a lot of people did. Steph really loved that one. The Last Voyage of the Demeter I found to be pretty standard, generic Hollywood blah, that I saw everything coming and then the ending was kind of dumb. So I was not really a big fan of that one. The Blackening, yeah, it's probably in my top 10. I should be writing these down. All Fun and Games wasn't good enough to crack the top 10. Elevator Games was fun, but not good enough to crack the top 10. No One Will Save You definitely cracks the top 10. We discussed. That one was there. Totally Killer is definitely on my top 10 list, man. I love Totally Killer. Strong female lead. It was witty. It's fucking Sabrina. I'm a big fan of Sabrina. I really enjoy Kiernan Shipka, the actress who plays Sabrina. She does a really good job in this. I thought it was like, it had great social commentary and had just enough of the like what everybody tries to be like. The pushback now is on all the woke. He's trying to push this woke agenda, and everything's so woke in this. This was funny. Like, it did just enough of it to make it clever and not over the fucking edge of being annoying, man. And I just thought it's such an awesome job of pointing out little things and differences, because it's like Back to the Future meets Scream, or we'll go Back to the Future meets Scream. Totally Killer probably might crack my top 10. Well, we'll see. Dark Harvest we watched. That was a fun one. Sawtooth Jack, The Misfits Masks, if you remember. If you watched that one. I don't think it's going to crack my top 10, but it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Five Nights at Freddy's, definitely not. That was a frustrating fan service. That's what we called it here on the episode. And I'm going to tell you right now, Onyx the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls is my number 2 movie of the year. Godzilla -1 is my number 1. And Onyx the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls is my number 2. I love horror comedy. I can't recommend this enough. It's a great story about the making of this, and the Andrew Bowser, the man behind it, doing the the Arby's dude, starting with the weird Arby's dude videos and just developing this Onyx character over the course of 10 years and finally, getting this feature done. And it's just, and it winded up being so good. It doesn't drag. The writing is on point. The acting is excellent. The cast is into it. The practical effects, the puppets, dude, this was awesome. It was a throwback to like 80s and 90s fun horror. It was so good. It's like if Godzilla -1 hadn't come out, this would have been my number 1 movie of the year. And yes, it's not straight horror, it's horror comedy, but it's so good. It's so good. If you haven't watched it yet, again, you can find it streaming. I think it's a couple bucks on Amazon to rent it. It is so worth it. I bought it on Amazon. I own it digitally, and I will also buy it physically because they just announced that it's coming out on DVD, Blu-ray, all that. So I want to see behind the scenes. I want the featurettes. I want all that stuff. So Onyx the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls is my number 2 movie of the year after Godzilla -1. And then I would probably go with Thanksgiving. I think Thanksgiving is going to be my number 3. So yeah, I'm going to grab a piece of paper and we're going to start writing these down so I can keep track. I got to keep the continuity. So Godzilla -1 is number 1. We got number 2. I have to work on graphics for here. Number 2 is Onyx. Number 3 is Thanksgiving. We also had It's a Wonderful Knife, holiday slasher, which I watched and I also really enjoyed. I don't know if it's going to crack the top 10 though. So we're going to scroll on down here and kind of figure out where everything's going to fall into play. Oh, I don't know what that was, but somebody checking in. Oh, Brittany sending stars. Thank you, Brittany. Thank you, Scream Heart. As Steph Infection would say. My boo believers, thank you so much, Brittany. Really appreciate it. Let's see. You got to send us pics of you in your Deadsville shirt, Brittany, so we could share them. All right. So, yeah, Godzilla -1, number 1. Onyx, number 2. Thanksgiving is number 3. What else do we have? Anything on? Oh, no, I got to go through my actual... I think, yeah, Totally Killer, maybe. Now, you know what? Talk to Me is probably here. Yeah, this is where A24 is going to jump in. Yeah. Yeah, Talk to Me is going to be my number 4. And shoot, numbers 5 and 6. I think I'm going to go Evil Dead Rise as 5. If I'm missing anything, make sure you guys comment in the, if you think I'm missing anything that you know I've watched or that you feel deserves to be on this list and don't know if I've watched it or not, make sure you comment, let me know. But yeah, I'm going to go Evil Dead Rise as number 5. And then I'm probably going to go with Totally Killer. Yeah, Ghost, you think so? I don't know if you guys can hear him back there. Yeah, I'm going to go Totally Killer as number 6. Number 7 is going to be The Blackening. 3 left. Let's see. Who else is going to make the list? Got to go back and make sure I'm not missing anything old that we watched. The Boogeyman was good, just not... and Renfield, I don't know. I don't think it's going to beat out a couple of these more recent ones. Cobweb was really good. Man, what's on here that I've watched that we haven't reviewed, maybe? Anything else that I should be considering? Man. Yeah, I guess we're gonna go... Oh yeah, I guess No One Will Save You will be here in number 8. The Alien Abduction with No Dialogue. That was a really good one. Yeah, I think just on the strength of that, it's going to have to beat out a couple of these other ones that I might have put in there. But now we are going to go... It's a Wonderful Knife. This is so tough. And I also really loved There's Something in the Barn. That was a really good one too. Where are we at? I think I'm going to have to go Renfield and Cobweb. Renfield is number 9 and Cobweb is number 10. Just eking out, because Cobweb was creepy as fuck to me. I really enjoyed Cobweb. Oh man, it's really tight though between Cobweb and There's Something in the Barn, because I really enjoyed that one too, and all the practical fucking barn elves I really dug. But yeah, I think that's my top 10 for 2023. If I missed anything, let me know. If you think I'm an idiot for picking something, or you hated one of these, or you felt something was too high on my list. Godzilla Minus One is number 1. Onyx the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls is number 2. Thanksgiving, number 3. Talk to Me, number 4. Evil Dead Rise, number 5. Totally Killer, number 6. The Blackening, number 7. No One Will Save You, 8. Number 9, Renfield. Number 10, Cobweb. And honorable mention will go to There's Something in the Barn. Because, yeah, I really dug it. I thought it was a fun, really fun movie. There were parts where I felt it was a little long, maybe. Some of the family stuff, it kind of slows in the middle, with some of the family stuff being worked out, because of course it's a holiday movie. It's a fish out of water movie, but it's also like a dysfunctional family rallying together movie. So it has that feel good aspect of it. But I felt like it maybe lingered a little long on there. Whereas something like Cobweb was just fucking creepy. It had it kept you kind of guessing of what the fuck was going on. I thought the writing was really good and the acting was really good in it. And I kind of had a feeling what was coming eventually, but I thought they did a good job disguising stuff and kind of misdirecting with the writing and kind of bouncing you around. So Cobweb makes my number 10, just eking out There's Something in the Barn. All right, Boo Believers, that's going to do it. I'll make a post with this probably, and we'll get Steph's input as well. We'll find out what Steph's top 10 movies of 2023 are. And yeah, feel free to like, comment, share all this stuff, and comment what your thoughts were on some of these movies that I also liked. And I'll make the post later so you can kind of see my list, because I know I'm just running through them real quick. Justin Seelig checking in. Didn't see many of these films. Godzilla was great. Cobweb was good too. Haunted Mansion was cute for sure. But on another note, Dickie Devil and the Deviants, hands down, my album of the year. Maybe do an album review. Yeah. I appreciate that, Justin. We all appreciate that in Deadsville. I know you have helped us get the Dickie Devil and the Deviants album seen and into the eyes of some people who might not otherwise have seen it because of your recommendations, comments on other like podcasts and stuff. Really appreciate it, dude. You've been a huge supporter and have helped us push the Deadsville lore even further out there into the world. So truly appreciate that, brother. We truly appreciate that. We got to get you a character on the show at some point and get you in the lore somehow. But yeah, the problem with music reviews, and we've done them before in the past. Well, there's a couple problems with music, and this is one that it's not going to be very popular, especially with musicians. When I say what I'm about to say, they're not going to like this one. So there's only a couple of people watching right now. Hopefully, I won't get all the hate emails from the musicians. But, oh man, it's a very small amount of people that actually care about music these days. I am very sorry to say it because I love music. Music's very near and dear to my heart. I grew up playing music. I love bands. Horror Punks USA set out because I wanted to marry my two loves, my love of punk rock and my love of horror movies. I worked in horror movies. I fucking write and direct and do all this stuff with horror, and I fucking love it, and I love punk, and that was what brought me to horror punk. That's what made Horror Punks USA a thing. It's why I created all this to begin with, and what I learned over the 7-8 years now of doing this is that, man, music is hurting right now, especially rock music. I saw a post earlier today with somebody talking about it, and they were like, yeah, rock music doesn't promote or push new acts, and they are 1,000% correct. I couldn't have agreed more with their post. I forget who it was. If somebody remembers the post, feel free to share it or comment whose post it was if they're watching. But couldn't agree more. Hip hop, country, pop music, every other genre is constantly putting new acts in the forefront. You can't, like, TikTok rappers, they're popping up all the time. All these artists, everybody, you're constantly getting the new country acts promoted, new pop acts promoted, new hip hop acts promoted. You know what you see on rock stations? Playing the same old fucking music from 20 years ago. The same fucking bands. It's all nostalgia bullshit. It's all fucking nostalgia. And it's why rock music is dying. And, you're going to have nothing but nostalgia bullshit and tribute bands, and you have the monopoly that is Ticketmaster and Live Nation running all that shit, and that's what they want to do, is just that they're just going to own that shit. They're going to own your rock nostalgia because that's all that gets pushed on radio stations. Nobody pushes new fucking bands out there. And the only people that do are little independent podcasts and little independent fucking little stations on the internet that nobody, like a very small amount of people ever fucking hear. Nobody pushes new rock music on mainstream. Never. You never fucking hear it. You might, if you're lucky, and tune into like 93.3 here in Philly, or 94, not even 94, because they do. 94 got out of the rock and roll business and does sports talk now. That's how fucking bad the rock music industry is. But 93.3 still does it. WMMR, they have the WMM barbecue and all that stuff. But you might get a Hometown Heroes feature where they actually put, but that's like, you'll hear about that band and then you'll never hear anything else about them. Because nobody else is putting that shit out there. Nobody in rock and roll is pushing new bands. Aside from, nobody, I should say, I won't say nobody in the actual industry that has the power to make shit happen, that has the power to make a band, to lift up a band, nobody is talking about them. Nobody brings them up. You get new rappers, new country artists, new pop singers constantly being pushed onto the airwaves. They're constantly pushing these new... Nobody gives us... The only thing that you hear is classic rock and nostalgia bullshit and tribute bands, and they're fucking murdering rock and roll. So... that's one of the reasons we don't do album reviews anymore. People just don't care, I guarantee you. And here's the harsh reality for musicians. If I were to do an album review, I guarantee you, if I did 2 different album reviews and I reviewed a new band's music, new music that nobody ever heard of before, and I took an old ass band who's been around for 50 fucking years, like a Led Zeppelin album or some shit like that, and reviewed it, who do you think's going to get more views? I mean, we all know who's going to get more views. Nobody's going to give a shit about this brand new band. Nobody is going to care. Nobody is going to watch it. I won't say nobody. The majority, 99% of the people, there's that 1% that likes to find new music still, like myself and like other people that actually dig in the crates, quote unquote, digitally and online. It's a very tiny percentage of people that actually go out and seek out new music and would watch a review of a fucking album from a new band. But if I, like, fucking Led Zeppelin albums have been reviewed ad nauseum, how many times over the last fucking 40, 50 years? Like, everybody's reviewed every fucking year. It's a fucking anniversary of an album, and they review it again, and everybody fucking reads it, everybody watches it. That shit'll get recycled because their nostalgia fucking glasses come on, and people will watch the shit out of that. Fuck. If I did that, the problem is you can't play... when you do stuff like this online and you are monetized and you're broadcasting to YouTube or Facebook or certain places, playing music can catch you a copyright strike. Even if you have... I've played some of my own songs on our YouTube videos that I own all the rights to and everything, and they still hit me with a copyright warning because they're like, you don't own it. I'm like, yes, I do own the rights to it. It's just, again, there's a lot of copyright and they'll mute your shit. I still get, even here on Facebook, your video is muted in some countries because the copyright for your music does not exist there. So Facebook is muting your video. So yeah, music is a fucking issue. And it's an issue when you're trying to do this stuff. That's why they have all these, hey, use this royalty-free music. Hey, buy my program. It gives you all the music you can use without getting a copyright strike. It's a very popular thing now. So it's tough to do album reviews and have like even if you're reviewing it, even if you go in and you prove to YouTube and you ask for a review, you fight it, you appeal the copyright strike, you got to get in there and be like, even if it's obvious that you're reviewing the movie, they'll still fucking, or I'm sorry, reviewing the album, they still fucking fuck your shit up with stuff like movie trailers. I can sit here and show you the whole trailer. And even if they hit me with a copyright thing on my, hey Maddie checking in, and Brandon Coffin checking in, thank you both for checking in. Brandon says on point when I'm talking about this music stuff. Yeah, like I can watch the whole trailer, and even if a copyright notice pops up on my YouTube and I'm sitting here or Facebook or something like that, the movie studios allow it. It's allowed. You're allowed to but it doesn't hurt you. It doesn't hurt your video. It's not a strike the way a song can get you a copyright strike. They're way more lenient on showing a trailer for a movie or parts of a movie or a scene from a movie in in your online stuff, in your content, without hitting you with that copyright strike or just giving you like the, oh yeah, this is copyrighted content, but the owner allows it to be used for, public, fair use is what they call it. Fair use. If you're reviewing it, it's fair use. So that's the difference. Music, they fucking nail you with copyright strikes and shit like that if you put any. So like I remember we the first thing we tried to do was sit and we got vinyl from Left Hand Black, and they were like, yeah, we were all excited and we were ready to review it, and we did the review, and they were like, gave us permission to do the review and everything, and we played like snippets of each song, and we were like, yeah, we talked about the song, and we uploaded it, and immediately the whole thing got muted because it was like, you do not own the rights to this music, you cannot play this music, da da da. It was like, I was like, fuck, erase that video, fuck, let's just delete it, because we even though Left Hand Black was like, yeah, you guys like were friends with the band, they were like, yeah, review the fucking album, please, thank you, yeah, but nah, man, that's the problem with music. And Justin says, dude, you're so right. Yeah, it's an issue with like copyright and legality, but it's also an issue of people aren't tuning into like new stuff. People don't want to hear it. Andy Vesti checking in. What's up, brother? Long time high school friend of mine, old skateboarding buddy. What's going on, dude? How's your band doing? It's rough for music out there right now, folks. So support live music if you care about live bands and new bands. Rock and roll, like I said, it's tough. It's a tough road right now. You're seeing, rappers, country music, pop artists, they all get new artists pushed, but nobody's pushing a new rock and roll artist on any airwaves. There's no fucking, they're all playing old school shit. They're all cashing in on nostalgia. So is it their fault because that's all they push? Is it our fault as consumers because some of you, that's all you want to listen to is shit you grew up on in high school and you're not looking for it? I don't know. I don't know what the solution is, but I know that it's not a good time for rock and roll right now. So get out there and support those bands. Support DIY bands. We got Cancer Slug coming in February, one of the biggest DIY touring punk bands out there, been around a long time. Alex Story, also the singer for Misfits guitarist supergroup Doyle. Yes, Wolfman, coming to Delaware, and they are on a 100% DIY tour, so come out and support them. Tickets are on sale now. It's going to be a great show. We got Dickie Devil and the Deviants opening, and Dead End Lane, and it's a Monday night, but Cancer Slug hasn't been in the area in over 10 years, so go to work the next day with a hangover. It'll totally be worth it. Alex Story brings the love songs you can dance to. So, all right, that's going to do it for me today, Boo Believers. Wrapping up another week, and I won't see you again until after the holidays, so Merry Christmas if that's what you celebrate. Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Festivus, Happy Holiday, whatever it is, and I'll see you next week. We'll jump into the Daily Booze on maybe the 26th or 27th. Jump in and see what other kind of horror news we have. I'm sure the horror headlines will be a little slow over the holidays anyway, so we're not missing much. But we'll catch up on the other side. Stay spooky, Boo Believers, and thank you all once again so much for tuning in.